Well, good morning. A number of years ago, and it's really quite a number of years ago, when I was in high school, I took 2 years of, and one of the Latin phrases that is familiar is the phrase "Idiom amor vixen une," love conquers all. Well, that's a kind of a hopeful thought, isn't it? And it's a kind of a joyful thought. And I remember reading the story of the first American Afro player in the American League, and his name was Larry Doby of the 1947 Cleveland Indians. And he was reputed to be a good hitter, but in his first game, the rookie got up to bat and he missed all three pitches by a whole foot. And the crowd just booed him, and he went back into the dugout, sat down at the end of the bench with his head in his hands. Now, the second player that came up to bat was the all-star second baseman, the great hitter, Joe Gordon. In fact, he was such a good hitter, he could knock the ball clean out of the park. Well, he gets up and he misses each pitch, all three of them, by 2 feet. And the crowd was just stunned. And he went into the dugout and he went down and sat right next to that Doby fella. And people are still wondering today. I mean, they're even talking about it today. Did Joe Gordon miss all those three pitches on purpose? And only Joe Gordon knows. But I'll tell you one thing. You know that first American African baseball player? There wasn't a game that he played that he didn't pick up the glove first before he went out of the field of Joe Gordon. Love those kind of stories, don't you? Where you love somebody and stand up for somebody. And so the thought of love conquers all, I got to say this, it's a beautiful thought and it's a hopeful thought, but there are a lot of folks that could tell you of all the failures of their love. I mean, we could be talking about a parent or a spouse, that love doesn't always conquer all. Sometimes love fails. And the reason is for love to succeed, there's got to be a response. I mean, Jesus loved the world. God loved the whole world. He sent his son, you see, that the world wouldn't perish, that people would believe and have everlasting life. And yet, in spite of that tremendous love that God has for us, it doesn't mean that it's going to conquer all, because there's going to be people who reject it. Boy, we ought to respond better, don't you think, to love and not reject it, but appreciate, obey, have gratitude, and make love something that really does work well, at least in our lives. See you tomorrow.